जय गजानन। गणेशाय नमस्तुभ्यं। हेरंबाय एकदंतिने स्वानंदवासिने तुभ्यं ब्रह्मणस्पतये नमः। We shall continue the narration of the story of Ekadanta, the Pushtipati. Gratsamada is narrating to Prahlada. Yesterday we saw how Vatapi's story was ended by Agastya Muni, and finally they were all happy. And Agastya Muni returned to Vatapi with all that to the town of Vatapi after killing Vatapi, after drinking the waters of the ocean, and then finding Vatapi at the bottom of the ocean. He burnt him to ashes. There were several other Daityas also whom the Devas attacked and killed them. And finally, Agastya Muni, having restored his promise to the Devas, Munis, and Rishis, he takes all the wealth of Vatapi and goes to his wife Lopamudra and says, "See, now I have become wealthy, so I am deserving of the sharing of the secrets from you and having a conjugal bliss with you." So that ends that story with that story. Now, Kritsamada Rishi is continuing the story of, we have been discussing all these days about, in this second khand, we have been seeing the lineage of various rishis. We had seen the lineage of Kashyapa and Atre and other rishis also. We have been seeing one by one how in their lineage, which asura came, who were the prominent members or the sons of the lineage, and how they achieved Ganapatya title, the title of Ganapatya. So today we will be seeing the uh, lineage of Maharshi Kardama. Maharshi Kardama's daughter, Swayambhu Manu's daughter, Devahuti. Swayambhu Manu gave his daughter Devahuti to this Mahamuni Kardama. So to them was born this Kapila Muni. Kapila Muni, who is very famous. Kapila Muni was born to Mahamuni Kardama and Devahuti. After a penance, he was a part incarnation of Vishnu. So Vishnu, naturally, as he knew all the Vedas, but even then, when he's born as a child in some house, some family in a lineage, he has to be taught. So Kardama Rishi taught him all the Vedas. He, of course, he performed all the ceremonies after the birth of the child, after the naming ceremony, and then initiation into education. And so he started with the Vedas, the thread ceremony, and education in the Vedas. He also taught the Vedangas. There are six. We all know of the Vedas: Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda. But there are six Vedangas. Vedangas means they are auxiliary Vedas. They are supporting those Vedas, supporting texts. So those texts are, the six Vedangas are Shikha, Chanda, Vyakarna, that is all grammar and other things which are supporting texts. So Nirukta, Jyotisha, and Kalpa. These are all the supporting texts which are called Vedangas. Kardama Rishi taught these also to Mahavishnu, who was born in their house as Kapila Muni. Kapil Muni. So now once Kardama and his wife, they knew that Kapila Muni, the son who was born to them, is Vishnu. So they submitted themselves and they said, "See, we know that you are Vishnu. You know more than us. So tell us that knowledge which we don't know." So Vishnu tells them about Ganesha. He gives them the knowledge about Ganesha and the Purna Yoga. So he has Purna Shanti Yoga. That's the highest knowledge, which is peace giving. So he begins that giving that knowledge. He says that everything in this world are all in fives. All combinations of fives he starts telling Kardama Kapila Muni tells Kardama. So, and which are, they are all endowed with Maya or Maya Maya. That is, are all, which are all, everything in this world, which is created, are all created out of Mahamaya, or which is an aspect of Ganesha himself. And everything are of five types. So, that is Maya, Maya Maya, that the various differentiated aspects which are visible are the three forms of illusions. The fourth form of this illusion, which is all, which bears these illusions, is also illusory. That is, the one which is supporting these illusions are also illusory. And the fifth one is the undifferentiated, or the combination or the union of all these four. So, which are those first three illusions? First is earth, Prithvi, water, Jala, and fire, Tejas, are all the first three forms of illusion. First three elements that came out of this Maya, means that is, which was first manifested. Then the fourth one, which is a support of all these three, is Vayu. And thus there are four illusions. And then the union of, or the undifferentiated form, when all of this unite, it becomes space or ether. The union results in the undifferentiated form, which is Akasha Brahma, or the space element, in which all these exist. So there's nothing which can be separated from space. Space percolates through all of them. So these are the five great illusions, or five primordial elements. Then all these five elements are made out of Maya. And then we have another five sets, that is five organs of action. That is hands, legs, mouth, anus, and the reproductive organs. Then you have the organs of the sense organs. The external sense organs, that is the ears, eyes, nose, throat, mouth, skin. And then the five subtle elements, tanmatras, that is sense of hearing, sense of seeing, sense of smelling, sense of touch, sense of taste. So these are again five. Everything will be in clusters of five, which is of Maya, which is created out of Maya. So these all form the Panchamaha Bhutas. And here we must remember, when we say Bhutas, Bhutas means elements, primordial. It's not Bhut, that is ghost. Many people can get mistaken, and then everything is interpreted wrongly. Then there are five devas, five gods, who regulate all these karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, and all. These five are gross, subtle. Gross is Shakti, or you can say Asat Brahma. Sukshma is Sat Brahma. Sama or equanimity is Vishnu Brahma or Sama Brahma. And Ahankara, ego, and Bindu. Ahankara, ego, and Bindu are the five aspects of the Deha, of the body functions. Gross, that is Sukshma, Sthula Sukshma, Sama, Ahankara, and Bindu. These are all there in our body. Then we have five realms: Swarga, Mrityuloka, Patal that is three of them. And the fourth is Brahmanda, the universe, the cosmos. And fifth is Ganesha, the unmanifest aspect of all this, the Turiya state of all this. This is the five, or the five cosmic egg. Five andas, you can say. Anda, that is cosmic egg, from which actually the Big Bang came into existence, happened. And then all this came into existence. Then we have Panchavarnas. We generally speak of four varnashramas, but it is Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras, and without caste. Varna Vihina, that is one they were who don't have varnas. So there are five varnas, strata of society. We can't say caste or class for that. They are strata of society, layers in society. By yoga, then there are five ashramas of human life: brahmachari, Grahastha that brahmachari, Grahastha householder. Third is Vanaprastha, forest. And fourth is sannyas ashrama. After that is you take to sannyas. And the fifth one, that which is devoid of any ashrama. They don't have any ashrama. That is yogis. Yogis don't have any ashrama. They don't have any of these stages. They can be born yogis also, and for them there is no restrictions or any of these conditionings, code of conduct, and all of these ashramas. Now listen to the five yonis. Yonis, species or origins. Um, uh, that is that from where it is born, how it is born, based on how it is born. One is andaja, that is which is born from the egg. Then second is that which is born from sweat or moisture, that is swedaja. Then that which is born from sprouting of seeds, udbija. Then that which is born from another human being, Jarayuja, and that which is mind born, Manasika, Manasa, that is a fifth. So these are five types of birth. So we can say this AI is mind born. Huh? Manasa, we have created out of our minds. So that is why then just like everything has an existence, it has a form, it has a consciousness and everything. So we are afraid that this mind born thing which we have created may also have consciousness, and tomorrow they will start ruling over us. So it is quite possible. It is provided in the system. God, the universe has provided for it Manasa also. In fact, Shiva had a Manasa Putri, no? Manasa, her name was. And then she was, that child was born, a mind born, means that is because of Chandra, and then he gave it to Chandra to take care. He gave that child a daughter, she was a daughter, he gave to Chandra to take care of that child, and he took so for some time he was able to take care, then he was not able to take care, he came back, and then he said, no, it's very difficult for me, and so he gives then Shiva gives it to one rishi in Patal Loka. One rishi is that very great devotee, he's he's many yugas he has been living, and and finally he says that I want to, my ultimate aim is only to merge with you. So so he says that you give this manasa to her, to him, to take care. He will take care, and then so that goes, the story goes there, and then all kinds of in that this was shown in the Devonka Dev Mahadev episode, the serial, and in that all psychosomatic diseases can be seen in those episodes. Beautifully done. So that daughter's name was Manasa. Then mind born. So, oh intellectual father, now this Kapila is telling his father, Kardama Muni. So then Shakti, Surya, Brahma, Vishnu, and Rudra are the bearers of the five attributes, that is gunas. Shakti, she has all the three gunas, that is permutations and combinations of Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna. Surya is the Atma. Then Brahma is Rajoguna, Vishnu is Sattoguna, and Rudra is Tamoguna. Then scholars believe that the five deities are Shakti, Surya, Vishnu, Shiva, and Ganesha. That is five, and the Panchayatana Puja. That is, we do the deities worship. So these are the five deities whom we worship with the most favored deity in the center. Then we have Prakriti Purusha, Swata Uttana Brahma, Parata Uttana Brahma, and their Sayoga are the five essence or Atma of events of Brahmanda. So here, what they mean to say is the stages in which the Atma evolves. Atma, it is already there in each of us. In each of us, in each Prakriti. In Prakriti is nature. The soul is there. Then there is consciousness, then the soul, that Prakriti as such, Prakriti is a form. it has a form, it has life. Then that life evolves into consciousness, means when it becomes aware of its self, that is when self realization happens, then you're aware of your consciousness, which is Purusha. Then Swata Uttana Brahma, that is supported through self, through support of various tools and upadhi. There is an upliftment which comes to Swata Uttana Brahma, a stage of beingness of Swata Uttana Brahma. Then Parata Uttana Brahma. Parata Uttana Brahma is a stage of where the divine has descended. So to reach from the Prakriti stage to the stage where the divine has descended, that is a stage of pure knowledge, where simply knowledge, just knowingness. So that is a Paratottana Brahma. And then the Sanyoga form, the union of all this five Atmas, is is a cosmic, Cosma, or the Brahmanda, cosmic person. Then we have these are the five aspects of the soul. Then you have Asat. Then there are five types of Ananda, five types of bliss. Asat Ananda, that is divine bliss. Ananda is divine bliss. Asat Ananda is the bliss of untruth. Untruth, or we can say of Shakti Brahma. That is of all illusion. In the illusion, the bliss that is there. In illusion also there is a bliss. Even living in Maya, you are blissful. Ignorance is bliss, right? So like that, blissful, very blissful of all circumstances, in all circumstances. That is Asat Ananda, which is not really true. Then Sat Ananda, which is true. That is of Surya. Sat is Surya, or the Atma, soul, the Atma of the bliss of the soul, you can say. That is Sat Ananda. Then unmanifest or Avyakta Ananda, that is which is unmanifest. That goes in the incorporeal form, where you are beyond your body. After death there is a certain bliss, because you are not tied to the limitations of the body, and so there is a certain amount of bliss. Then Nija Ananda, proximity to the divine, very closely to the divine. And Nirananda, without the total bliss. So these are the five types of bliss. Then Dehi, Bodha, knowledge, Sankhya, intellect, and Swasamvedya are the five aspects of this world. The Bhava Panchaka. Bhava is beingness. Beingness of the body, this Deha, that is body, being in the body. Then Dehi, being in the Atma, or the soul. That is being always, you operate from the soul, even though just like how we do as some a little, you can say, jhalak of that, a part manifested part experience of that is like when you observe as a witness, means you're not in the body, but then you are outside the body, or you are apart from the body. So that then you get identified with the soul or the atma. So that they then knowledge, where you are identified with just a sense of just knowing. You just know. We call it intuition. We just say we know. So that is the bodha, that is the knowledge. Then sankhya, that is intellect, wisdom, you can say, intellect. And swasamvedya, self knowing, intelligible to oneself, only to oneself. That is swasamvedya, knowingness of oneself. Hmm? These are the five aspects of the, or bhava, beingness. How we how we are, or you can say our operating system. You can say it is, you can understand it like as an operating system. Sometimes you may be in your body. So most of the times, the athletes or wrestlers, they're all in their body. Their body itself is intelligent. Means the they operate from body intelligence, then from soul intelligence, then you can say in knowledge intelligence, then intellectual intelligence, sankhya, or atomic intelligence, that is. And swasamvedya, self-knowing, total self-knowing. So these are the five types of beingness. Then you have absorption of prakriti, videha, that is your incorporeal, outside the body. Then bhava pratyaya, that is experience of beingness of the supreme, of the divine. That is when you have migrated from your individuality, your own, your separate individuality. When you identify with something higher, you become that higher. So that is the bhava pratyaya. That is, you become or become the beingness of that person, of that higher thing, or higher intelligence, or higher. Then upaya pratyaya is where you have utilized something to experience the being. And asampragnata yoga, that is asampragnata, where there is no utilization of any tools. We don't use any tools for that. It is just you are beyond all these tools. That is in almost, you can say, in the unmanifest aspect, in the incorporeal aspects. So these are the five aspects of yoga panchaka. So see the states of, we are saying yoga, and normally we think, okay, Ashtanga yoga means, what is yoga? We just know as asanas and pranayama. See the levels of yoga that is described in our scriptures. So in this manner, the Brahmanda is this whole cosmic functions in all these aspects. Everything is of fivefold aspects. The number five is usually considered as a number of change, a number of flow. There's a flow that is, it's a number of finance also, you can say. That's why the notes keep, money keeps moving. So that is a flow. So it's a number of flow. So everything which is in aspects of five aspects, it's the flow of the whole cosmos. So this way, there are many five aspects. It is impossible to describe all of them. These are the major ones that actually perform the functions of movement in this cosmos. So by practicing yoga, one can attain absolute yogic peace. So by understanding and knowing all these different kinds of panchas, fives, we can become knowledgeable in that, and then we can attain peace. So this is what Krishna, that is Kapila Muni, who was born as Vishnu, born as Kapila Muni, he's explaining to his father Kardama Rishi. So in this way, when the union of all this occurs, when all these panchas get together, they become the Sanyoga Brahma, or the union of the Brahma. So in this way, this Gratsamada is explaining to Prahlada about all this, and in that conversation, he's explaining what Kapila Muni told Kardama Rishi. So in this, Kapila continues, the worship of Ganesha is the most important for the path of attainment of Shanti Yoga. Shanti Yoga, absolute peace, because he is the Lord of all Brahmas. He is the Brahmesha. So, O Mahamuni, the foremost, he is the first worshipped, Jeshta Raja. He is the eldest, he is considered as the eldest or the most superior, Jeshta, eldest, and he is worshipped first before everything else. So Vedas have said that he is the universal sovereign. He is a universal sovereign. We all speak of countries as sovereign countries, individuals, we need our freedom, sovereignty, and all that. But the universal sovereign, the person representing universal sovereignty is called Jeshta Raja in the Vedas. He has absolute authority over everything in creation, both as a collective as well as individual. So, various universes are his body. How is he? What is his form? How does he look like? This whole various, not this only one universe, several universes all put together is his form, his body. His head is represented by various Brahmas. Oh, intellectual one. The Vedas describe it as Gaja. It is described as Gaja, where Gaja plus Anana. that is the face, the head or the face of an elephant. Gaja is elephant face, and Anana is the face, the name for face, head. So he has an elephant head and the body of a human being. The body, or I mean, whatever it is, his body represents this world, and the Gaja, the head, represents the unmanifest aspect of this world. So he is the union of both. And because he has the face like that of an elephant, he is called Gajanana. So he is that form of Ganesha, whom we call Ganesha. He is Gajanana. Then there are five aspects of, we have already seen the chitta, the mind has five aspects: Shipta, Vikshipta, Moda, Ekagra, and Nivritti. So it is believed that moha infatuation, which afflicts the Siddhi, is also Ganesha. That is, we saw the chitta or the mind, consciousness, matter, which are of five variations, which has princess Kshipta, that is confusion, modha, that is foolishness, and Vikshipta, that is disorientation. Then Ekagra, concentration, Nivritti is detachment or restraint. So these different aspects of the chitta, at the unmanifest level, he is the form of like Mahamaya, that is gross illusion, that is in the form of Mahasiddhi. Mahabuddhi is the instrument through which Mahasiddhi creates these illusions. So Buddhi is a bearer of that Moha or illusion. So this I'm talking at the cosmic level. At the cosmic level, Buddhi, there are Ganesha is considered has two wives, Siddhi and Buddhi. Wives in the sense they are his Shaktis or powers. So Buddhi is the intellectual power which is of his right side, and she is the bearer of this Maya. Means she is the intellect or knowledge who supports or who provides a platform for this Maya to operate, for the Siddhi to operate. And Siddhi is all the totality of illusions or desires. And their Lord is Ganesha, who is who is the Lord of Chitta. That is Lord of the mind. Then that is Chintamani. That is why he is called Chintamani, and he can be served on by following the path of yoga. So these are all the various aspects of Ganesha, the totality of Ganesha. He gives this all this knowledge. Kapila Muni is giving this knowledge to his father Kardama Rishi. So and he can be attained by chanting the Ekakshara Mantra. Ekakshara Mantra, Gang, Gang, Gang. Where Gang, where you touch the palate. So this mantra he gives to his father Kardama Rishi, and Kardama Rishi he takes this mantra, he gets initiated into the mantra, he goes to the forest, and he and his wife both engage in the austerities in chanting these mantras continuously. So, Krisamada is telling Prahlada, see, in this way, this Mahayogi Kapila, who was none other than Vishnu himself, he taught his father all these principles, the essential elements of this supreme being, uh, whom we call Ganesha. What is he like? Means what is he made of? What is he composed of? What is he made up of? So he describes all these elements, primordial elements, Panchamaha Bhuta, the Tanmatras, the five sense organs, five Jnanendriyas, five Karmendriyas, and all others, and the different aspects of beingness, the different states of the soul, different states of the cosmic person, cosmic soul, and everything, as the entire this concept or this whole thing which we call as Gajanana. So having imparted this knowledge to Kardama Rishi goes to the forest and he meditates on this single lettered mantra of Ganesha, Ekakshara Mantra, and step by step he was able to experience all these different stages and finally attain Shanti Yoga. After that, she attains the Siddhi. Kapila Muni, then after that, after teaching all this, after these people also having left the ashram, Kapila Muni goes to the forest, goes to the banks of the river Ganges, Ganga, and there and worshipped Gananayaka. So this is the story of Kapila Muni. Then we will continue with Kapila Muni's after he goes and sets up his ashram, or you can say his kutia, his hut on the banks, on the southern banks of Ganga. Then what happens after that? What experiences, incidents, events happen in his lineage? We shall see in the next session. This ends the 69th chapter of Devahuti and Kardama. They attain peace, which is the title of this chapter in the second Khand of the Purana Upanishad, Srimad Mudgal Puran. So today, here we generally see in this lesson also, we saw how we learn about things. How we, when we come, when we are born, we learn one thing after the other. The teachers come.
You remember that day I told you, you tell us what we don't know.
Yeah.
Same thing you said now.
Yeah. So, so I'll tell you what we don't know, but we'll begin with where we know, where we are. Hmm?
Okay.
So where we are is when we are born. After when we are 4 or 5 years old, we go to pre-KG, admit to school KG. The teachers start teaching us. Then till almost for another 10, 12 years, we learn. We come with a blank slate, or at least we don't, at least we come with all that knowledge, but that knowledge is not kindled. The force, that knowledge ka jo treasure hai, that is the locker is not yet opened. Till then, we are in a blank slate. So we are fed a lot of things by our teachers, parents, neighbors, everybody. And so we keep collecting that, all that for 12 years. Generally for 12 years up to SSC, 10th standard, 10th. But then after that, we start applying that knowledge, and then we further get added knowledge. So in all this process, it is always expansion, continuous expansion. We are adding on to whatever we get from this world. Then we add in terms of knowledge, job. We add. Then we get desires when we have a choice, when we have a variety of things in front of us. We want more of it. We want less of something. So we have more and more desires. And then we keep learning and learning and learning, and then out of that we discard certain things which we are not inclined to, where our mind is not in that frame of is not receptive to that this. So and we select certain fields where we engage ourselves. Some may select like a banking career, some may select a doctor's career, some may select healing, some like there's different areas. Some wants to be a pilot, some wants to go to the army, some wants to go, some become farmers, some are industrialists, traders, and everything. So each of them are focused in their channel, and then they keep adding. And then in those areas or in that streams, you start forming habits. That is, you keep doing repeated same actions, and then you become specialists in that. Or if it is in the form of a skill, you can say it is a specialist. If it is in the form of a certain behavior, then you can say it is a habit, and that habit forms a character. Okay. If it is in the case of a business or in the case of your occupation, if some tragedy happens, then you pull back. Like for example, a surgeon, if somebody dies at his hands because of his mistake, generally they are brain, I mean they're conditioned, or they come with a assumption that death is not because of us, it is just, it happens. It's in the hands of God, you can say. Means they don't feel that they are responsible for the death. But a certain, sometimes a occasion may arise because of some mistake, some fault. Then that triggers a repelling or a caution, a fear that is there in every field of activity. If it is in the trading, if you incur a big loss, then you might shut down that company and then you don't do that business at all. Some people just simply stop doing a business itself. If it is in the field of even the games, if in the sports, if you lose, if you're continuously getting good some medals, and then if you suddenly keep losing for a 2 3 games, and then you just shut down, means you repel. Okay, now I'm coming to this point, when you repel, when you pull back, when you are withdrawn, or when you so in that situation, how can you help yourself? What do you do? See, it's like or even in a case like when you're continuously doing a certain things, like even a thief is continuously robbing, and he doesn't even he goes to the jail and comes out also, still he doesn't realize that what he's doing is wrong. Somebody is used to क्या फर्क पड़ता है, चलता है. It's so like in a country like India, corruption is the normal. If you don't, if somebody doesn't ask you for money, then you consider that person something wrong with him. Means it has reached that level. It is that way, because I have myself experienced it, you know. So like if somebody so the corruption has become so normal that now it is impossible to be without it. That is, if you everybody is telling we want to end corruption, the political parties say hum log corruption khatam kar denge, but they are into double, you know. So so what do they do? Even the corrupt people, they say okay, we'll come with you, and then you get branded as if it is not corrupt, but then they're all there, the corruption is there in that same system. The system is enhanced now, with a covering of clean people, but underneath all corruption in different forms. So when it reaches this kind of stage, when the um, leprosy, what is that called? When the when the gangrene, what they say?
Gangrene.
Gangrene, no? When it reaches the stage of filth or इतना खराब है, तो then from that stage, how to recover? Your one thing is cut, the whole leg is cut off. But the societies become like this. Now this is the gangrene of the society. किसका legs chop off करेंगे, किसका head chop off करेंगे, किसको अंदर का. That means the whole country should be in this country is the jail. Jail. It should be like that, no? Because everybody is corrupt. Then, in this condition, how do you recover? How do you get some kind of virtuousness or truthfulness, or how to remove this cancer from the society? In this cases, you can't do it by yourself. It has always to come from an external force. The growth can happen internally, means you can develop through internally, but when it has to go in the reverse gear, when you have to put your reverse gear, only from external force has to be applied. Even in a car, if you have to go reverse gear, सामने एक pahad aana chahiye. That is where that climb is there. Then that prevents you from going further. So only an external force can change you. That is why even they say, if a person, if you're doing some mistake, only somebody else can see your fault. You can't see your fault. Somebody will point out to you, and that is why it is called a blind spot. It's called a blind spot. You can't see it for yourself. So that is a cancer in this society, which we can't see it for ourselves. We consider it as the thing. Means it is the in thing. It is the thing that is done. It is normal. Nobody can see it. So that is why we are unable to correct it. It is only increasing. The more you may switch from one party to another, but then that to go into the another party, you're given a bribe. Right? To come to my party, you take this 50 khoka. So you are given that bribe to go into it. So that itself is it is a bribe, right? So where does this stop, or how do we remove this cancer out? When someone else can see this cancer in the society, will impose the force. So in one way, at the international stage, the tariff imposition is that kind of a external force that is coming on us. Similarly, even in wars also, it's an external force that happens. And then, of course, it gets again there, it gets entangled, and it never ends unless some other external force comes into application. So, at our individual level, also, we need an external. That is why we go to a mentor, a coach, someone who can see some aspect of us which we cannot see. When we are not going to go for, when we are not able to see where we are making a mistake, somebody else has to tell us, and then we trust that person, and then we go along with what the person say, even though he gives us a bitter medicine. He will say you have to go get up in the morning at 5 o'clock and run for 5 miles, then you run. If you want to win that Olympic medal, then you have to get up in the 5 o'clock and run 5 rounds in this.
Marathon.
Come and come back. Like how Shah Rukh Khan told those hockey players, first thing, go run and come. Chak de India. So like that, you have to follow some bitter pill when it is when somebody else is able to see your flaws. And then when at that time, again, I would say there is an element of divine grace there. Even though somebody tells you, then your wife tells you so many times, "ये ही करते हो," yeah, how many times to tell you? But you keep doing it. But then no, only a grace, that drop of grace comes, no, from heaven. Some divine grace has to come to just shake you, and yes, there is something in this. And that even she must have told you 20 times, 30 times, 100 times, but at one particular stage, it just clicks. So that is the shower of grace, which comes, you can say coincidence, you can say, you may say luck or providence or anything you may give an attribute that, and that spark of grace that comes, तो light bulb moment जो बोलते हैं, aha moment, you can say, and then it lights up your face, and then you say, yes, this is it, and then you trust that process, then you really change, you alter your behavior. So everything else, for achieving your ambition, for your growth, everything, it comes from your spirit, from your inner soul, or your inner conscious, inner intelligence, wisdom, whatever. But when a correction has to happen, and unlearning has to happen, and retraction or something has to happen, it has to be from external, and it is always from the spirit of the external to the physical, and the changes in you has to happen at the physical level first, then only it will percolate to the mind, intellect, wisdom, experience, and then become your new habit. So it is like a reverse gear. So it is a chakkar, pura cycle. It is what begins from inside, and when it has to be corrected, it has to come from the external for growth to happen. And this is a cyclical thing, it's a spiral thing. So it cannot just go in linear way. Linear way is always stagnant. So it has to be a spiral. Then only you'll keep going, evolving about more and more and more, and becoming better versions of yourself. Okay, shall we meditate on this thought? Bring all your attention to yourself, to where you're seated in your house, on a chair. See that your feet are firmly planted on the floor. Spine erect. See that your neck is in line with your spine. Bring all your attention to the top of your head, the Sahasrara. Keeping your attention on the Sahasrara, observe your breathing. That is, you shifted your focal point to the Sahasrara. From there, you're observing this body breathing in and out. Breathe slow and steady in a rhythmic way. By now, you must be able to breathe rhythmically without the need for counting, so that your mind is silent. Your mind is silently observing this breathing. It has no other engagement other than observing. Observe your breathing. See where your mind is wandering. Based on what we were discussing, where did your mind take you? To what incident, to what behavior that you are stuck in? Recall that incident, that behavior, that habit which is keeping you stuck. Recall everything related to that behavior. What all people said on different occasions. What all consequences you had to face because of that behavior or that pattern that kept repeating. Recall one particular behavior where you succeeded in coming out of it. What had happened then? Who helped you? What got revealed? What was that light bulb moment? Do you remember repeating it? How did it transform you? Compare that to this situation where you're stuck. Where do you think you're going wrong? What options you have? Whose help you can take? It could be that you may be getting into this trouble because of a habitual behavior of another. It may not have been really your fault that's getting you into this trouble over and over again. You can't correct the habit of another. That's not in your hands. But how you can get rid of this habitual response that you have, whether you need a help from someone else, because you are also in the same rut. A third force may be needed. Think out of the box. A nice deep breath all the way into the abdomen and hold. And then release. Keep repeating. Keep repeating and releasing until you get the clarity of what is it that you can do to come out of the rut. Whose help you can take. Find that flicker of hope. You can follow this method for solving any of your problems, anywhere where you're stuck. Look for help from the outside. So it's always not that you express from the inside to the outside, but there is also a movement from the outside to the inside, just like that of give and take. You breathe out oxygen, you breathe out carbon dioxide, which the trees take in, and they give oxygen, which we breathe. There is a natural give and take in the universe. There is always an exchange. Which is equal and opposite in direction. It has the energy of number 5. The flow. Bring all your attention to yourself. Feel yourself operating from a place of strength, a place of possibility. Slowly wriggle your fingers and toes. Rub your hands together. Cup your palms. Place it on the eyes. Gently rub your face. And when you're ready, open your eyes.